how to make money on tax deed sales. Want to know how to make money on tax deed sales? Well, strap on your seatbelt because I'm going to show you how. There are incredible opportunities to make money at tax deed sales. But to make the money, you have to know what you're doing because there are a lot of hazards hidden under the surface that you need to know about. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you about some of those hazards and, more importantly, how you can avoid them. I'm also going to show you how to do the simple things like get the list, do your due diligence, and make sure that you are set to get started in this lucrative and fun business. And be sure to stay on until the end, because in the end, I'm going to give you access to some advanced training where I'm going to show you another way to invest in tax deed properties where there are no other bidders, there's absolutely no competition, and you buy properties free and clear for just the taxes owed. It's amazing, it's innovative, so make sure you stay in the end to get access to that free resource. Tax deed sales start off with taxes being offered for the taxes due, and that's where the bidding starts from. And usually it's only 3 or 4 years worth of taxes, so you get some amazing opening bids where you're looking at a property that's a $400,000 house with $50,000 in taxes, and that's what the bidding starts at. So there's some amazing offers out there, but it is competitive. There'll be plenty of people bidding. So although you get some deals where they're absolutely amazing, usually the properties are going to sell for anywhere from 60 to 80% of retail value at those sales, taking into consideration repairs. So they can be competitive. So the question is, how do you handle these sales? How do you do these sales? And how do you succeed? Because properties can be bought for pennies on the dollar. Well, step one, you got to get the list. So how do you do that? Simple internet search. Just the county, the state, and the word tax deed sale. So for example, if I put in DeKalb County, Georgia, tax deed sale, you'll pull up the tax commissioner's website, just like you see on your screen. And then you click on the link where it says see the list. You click there, and there's the list. And this is an actual tax sale list. And you can see on there the address of the property, the name of the owner, and also over on the right, you can see the taxes that are due. That's where the bidding is going to start, at the past due taxes. So these are very, very low prices for actual houses, and that's where the bidding is going to start. So what you want to do with this list is, once you get the list, get it about a month in advance of the sale, start looking through the properties and deciding which ones you're interested in. And the way that you do that is online through Google Maps. Go on Google Maps, put in the address of the property, and then do Street View. If you're not familiar with that, Street View is where you pull the little picture of the person, drag it up onto the street, and then you'll be able to see a picture that Google has taken of the house. Make sure you look at the house, then rotate around so you can see what the street looks like. And all you're trying to do here is decide, is this a house that I'm interested in doing further due diligence on, or is this one I'm not interested in, I want to skip? So that's all we're doing right now. So go through all the properties, get rid of all the ones you're not interested in, leaving you with just the ones you are interested in, and then do nothing. We're going to sit and wait. The reason we do that is that many people are going to save their house from the tax sale, and the way they're going to do that is they're going to go and they're going to pay the taxes at the last minute, or they're going to enter into a payment agreement, or they're going to file a bankruptcy to stop that sale. So the majority of the properties are not going to be sold even though they're on the list. So you need to have a lot of properties that are in your bucket of properties I'm interested in to be able to buy some properties at the sale. Now the work is worthwhile, but just, I want you to go with realistic expectation. This is what's actually going on. A lot of properties advertised for sale, a few properties actually sold, a few great bargains that you can get. So what you're going to do for your next step, when the sale is 3 to 4 days away, then go and get a new copy of the list, and what you'll find is that the county has updated the list. It's either going to have crossed off the ones that are not going to be sold because they filed bankruptcy or whatever they're doing, or it's just going to delete those entirely, and you're just going to be able to identify, however the list is organized, you'll be able to tell which ones are actually going to be sold. Those are the ones where you're going to do your further due diligence. And what that means is you're going to go drive by the properties. I mean, you're going to go take a look at them. And you're going to drive up to the property, look at it from the street, and say, oh, let me look at the roof. Does the roof have holes in it? Does it have a blue tarp, meaning it's been leaking for a while? Is the roof like bowed in the middle like that? If not, that's a big problem if it's sitting like that. Also look at the windows. The windows should be rectangular or square. If they're racked into trapezoids, remember trapezoid from high school, if they're twisted, it means there's a foundation problem. Look also to see, hey, are the windows knocked out? Sometimes they will be. Is there any sign of a fire, like you see black soot under the eaves? Does it look occupied or not? You want to learn as much as you can about the property because these properties are often in very poor condition. And you have to assume that if they can't pay the taxes, they also can't pay to maintain the properties, so you just have to assume the worst. Get out of your car and go knock on the door and see if anybody's around. If it's a tenant, you can talk to them. If it's an owner, you can talk to them. Find out as much as you can about the property. Find out what their plans are. And that'll give you a better assessment of whether you want to buy the property or not. I've had some clients that won't buy properties that are occupied because they don't want to deal with tenants. That's fine. Because the auctioneer is not going to offer an empty property to you. They're going to sell you the property and you deal with the tenants. So if it's a tenant or a former owner and they don't leave voluntarily or start paying you rent, then you're going to have to evict them, and that's on you. So you need to make sure that you're going into this eyes wide open. So learn as much as you can, go through all of the properties, and then you're ready to go to the auction. So make sure that you check in advance with the auctioneer to see if there's pre-registration requirement. Generally, you're going to see that list and any forms you need to fill in the same place as you got the list. So just check that out. Make sure you look at that a week or two in advance of the sale because often they close the pre-registration a week or two before the sale. So make sure you do that in advance. And that way you won't be locked out of the auction. The auctions are held in person at the courthouse and some auctions, other ones are online. The in-person is nice because there's less competition. The online is nice because it's convenient. But the better deals are definitely going to be at the in-person auctions, but both of them have deals, so don't feel like you're locked out. Just you have to do a little more due diligence on more properties for an online auction, but the more due diligence you do, the better position you'll be in to bid, so don't hesitate from that. Also, some of the hazards that you don't know about that wouldn't be obvious are, first of all, don't ever bid on commercial properties at these auctions. I'm talking about former dry cleaners, gas stations, factories of any kind. The reason you don't bid on those is because they often have environmental problems that if you become the owner, you're stuck paying to fix it up and to remediate the environmental problem, which could cost who knows how much money. So don't get involved with anything that's commercial. If you're going to buy commercial properties, do it through a regular real estate broker where you can do a phase 1 and phase 2 environmental study and you can know what you're getting into. Don't do it in this auction format. This is a place to buy houses. This is a place to buy vacant lots. This is a place to buy land. It's not a place to buy commercial properties. Also be aware that people sometimes try to overturn the sale, so they may sue later on to try to get the sale overturned. They can be difficult and expensive to evict from the property. And you're responsible for the property. Like if there is overgrown grass, you got to get to cutting it as soon as you get the property. So make sure that you're going in with eyes wide open, with a budget, and buying at a deep discount. These are not properties you want to pay 90% of retail for. These are properties you want a 30 or 40% discount from retail just to deal with the nonsense that's going to happen. But that being said, great deals. Oh, another thing I want to share with you. These are cash-only deals. These are not ones where you can get a mortgage. Mortgage companies won't finance these. You have title issues that have to be straightened out. And also, they're not equipped to run down to the auctioneer's office that day and give them a check. That's on you. So also be aware that that is a limitation. That tends to depress the prices, but just understand you have to be prepared to bid either with your own money or raise some money from friends and family and do it that way. But you do need to have ready cash. And make sure that when you're looking at the terms of the sale, you find out the method of payment and the timing of payment. Usually it's either a cashier's check that you bring down and drop off, or it's an ACH that you send in, meaning a wire. But it's not something you should ever expect to use a mortgage for. That being said, even with all those problems, there can be some really great deals in them. Now, on the title issue, the way you straighten out title is either going to Tax Title Services, which is a company that offers title insurance on tax sale properties, or if they won't insure it, you're going to do something called a quiet title action. That generally takes 4 or 5 months, usually takes anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000 to do, depending on the lawyer. And that's a little bit of a delay in your project, but make sure that you're accounting for that in this whole process. Now, there's another way to do this that I've recently discovered that I think is absolutely amazing. I have a friend of mine that developed a proprietary system and way of acquiring tax sale properties with no competition, where he gets as much time as he wants to do due diligence, just casually picks through thousands of properties, and he picks only the best ones, and he buys them for the taxes due with no competition, totally free and clear. He's bought properties incredibly cheaply, just for a couple $1,000s. He bought one property that basically 3 months worth of rent from the tenant that was in there paid for the whole property, and he had the property, still owned it free and clear. He's buying properties to flip, he's buying properties to rent, doing an amazing job. Great guy. I really want you to hear what he has to say. So what I did was I recorded a video with him. It's about 26 minutes long, so it's not particularly long, where he describes what he does, shows you some of his results, and it is really amazing. So you can either click on the link up top on the video, and you can then go to that video next, or down in the description below you'll see a link to it. It's a free YouTube video, so it doesn't cost you anything. Definitely go check it out, because I think if you're buying at tax sales, this is the way to do it. I think this proprietary way. The way that I described to you works. I did it for years. It's just a lot of work and there's competition. This new way of doing it, it's much less work and there's no competition, and I like that part better. So go check out that video and I'll see you over there. Again, either click on the link that you see in the video, or if for any reason your browser doesn't show that link, then click on the link below in the description and I'll see you over in that video.